Welcome everybody to week two. Whew, I almost thought it was next week there for a second of Prospect Esports Showdown GOAT Season 2. We are here tonight with Duck Crew versus Let's All Press Q. I'm your girl Aurora, constantly got a foot in my mouth. I'm co-casting with Lord the Ethan. Lord, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Lord Ethan here doing play-by-play for this game tonight. It's our GOATS tournament, my personal favorite composition of all time. 3 tanks, 3 supports, usually with some combination of Brig and Zenyatta, with Reinhardt acting as the tip of the spear of the formation. I am so excited to watch this game unfold tonight between two teams that I think are pretty evenly matched as well. You've got DeCrew playing against Let's All Press Q. Both teams are 1-1 in this tournament right now with a map differential of 0. So every map that one of these that each of these teams can win, every point that they can get is just going to work out so much better for them as the tournament progresses. Here in week 2, you want to start getting those as early as you possibly can.
Yes, now the fun thing about tonight's teams really is I was actually supposed to be playing on Let's Press Q. You probably saw me yesterday having a little bit of a struggle time against Backseat Gaming. But the extra fun thing is the crew has a lot of my old org members. So Mighty Owl, uh, Noah's Ark, these are all people that I know and I love. And I'm a little sad that I'm in the caster's booth and not curb stomping people tonight because it would have been so much more fun. But I'm just excited to be here tonight and to get this going. I started playing after GOATS was a thing, unfortunately, so I just have to live vicariously through this time travel tournaments. But we are going to be going into um the first map of tonight, which is going to be Nepal. Now, this is the first chance that I'm seeing Nepal for this. Um and again, the foot just keeps on giving. It wasn't Backseat Gaming yesterday. It was Seoul Alt Academy. I don't I don't know why. It's all of these teams from Prospect just kind of bleed into each other, I think, for me, because we're all pretty much a hive mind at this point.
Well, and when all these teams are running pretty much the same exact composition, it gets pretty easy to mix them all up as well. What's a little bit tougher to mix up is some of the standout players that we've gotten to see in this tournament so far. If you guys have missed any of those games, you definitely want to check those out in the videos of the Prospect Esports Showdown Twitch. Some really exciting games all the way back to last Tuesday, where we got to see CC Vortex play against I think it was Backseat Gaming, and that was a really spectacular showdown where I think it was Mathlete on the Reinhardt just got to show us what exactly the Goats comp is so why it's so much fun to watch, especially in regards to these main tank players. So hard to mix up is some of these standout players, and that's what I'm excited to watch tonight. Is these players that you mentioned you've played with, Laura, that you've played against as well. I'm excited to see which ones show us that they know how the GOAT's composition is played.
Yes, now you mentioned Mathlete. Mathlete is definitely one of our fan favorites. Of course, so is Ben Retire. That is who I was thinking of yesterday
Hmm.
from Prospect Soul Alt Academy. We have the R from both teams, so we're going to be diving in fast and furious into Nepal. Now, when I think of goats, I don't necessarily think of Nepal immediately, just because unless we get to those kooky crazy ones where we have a ball and a Sigma, I just don't really see, goats really being that strong on Nepal.
Well, especially on this starting map, Nepal Sanctum here, where you have half the point is actually just missing, replaced by this seemingly bottomless pit. This is a gimmicky map. This is where you run the wrecking ball, you go for the boops, you run Sigma and try to flux people into the hole. You go Roadhog or Lucio to stall the objective. You don't really think about Goats comp too much, but both these teams are locked into the 3 tanks, the 3 supports. here for here for, oh goodness, it's Let's All Press Q. They're actually running the Ana, the Brig, and the Lucio with Ryan, Diva, and Zarya. So a little bit of a difference there without the Zen is interesting to me.
Yes, now I believe that they're banking on the Ana to get those nades, to get those sleeps out. You know, the utility, they're going to try to sustain differently than just trying to kill the quickest. I can already hear the voice lines active. Come here.
Yeah, a little bit of trash talk from the heroes here as the fight begins to break out. Not on the objective though. Each team trying to kind of gauge each other, bring them back, and Kitty Cat is actually the first. Oh, Joey Hoban and DeQuills both fall immediately afterwards. That's the total team kill.
Yes, now I'm sure some of those additional follow-up kills, especially after Yuta took so many out with that environmental, just was a reset, but Skittles also got a quick whip shot that was not a suicide, it was intentional. However, this is going to give them a huge upper hand in this next fight, 70% to shatter.
Yeah, Choi goes down immediately, though. You saw the anti-nade land on them, and then their health pool disappear immediately afterwards. Now, amped by the speed, it looks like Press Q is going to be able to push, get the stagger limit on Froggy Bear, kiss the spawn doors, and then probably start backing up. Is DeCrew going to be able to punish them?
It does look like it's going to be, they do have a Discord, you know, on their tanks. Projected berries are already used, so, you know, they have a lot of resources down, but Shatter!
Ooh.
Huge Shatter!
And the Nano as well to amplify the damage, make sure that Loba doesn't collapse in the middle of this team fight. It's only lining up red in the kill feed here for Let's All Press Q, and they're going to do another touch of the spawn doors there. That's a team kill. We've got half the team of DeCrew spawning right now. Kitty Cat, the last elimination of that fight. Yuta went for the cheeky poop, didn't quite find it, has to get out there. I don't know, they're able to actually make it. That's amazing.
Yeah, now Loba has no lack of confidence emoting in the middle of the field. Mini Fridge does get to take down Chobayan.
It's really interesting too. They had the barrier up. I don't actually understand. Lots of cover around here. I'm not sure why they died. And now we're gonna see a stagger elimination onto Noah's Ark. Has to actually go into the depths. 85% building, and is there even a chance to touch here for DeCrew?
Yeah, they're going to have to change things. They're having to change the rotation quick and fast because going straight into the room with the Mega is not enough. And we do see a duel of Lucios happening on point, but it may not be enough. We do see Froggy ultimately falling to Yoda while the main fight happens. Beat coming out as well by Yuta.
Noah's Ark is going to be able to touch, but is not going to be able to stay for very long. Finally beamed down by Mac, and that's going to be the end of our first round. A very quick and decisive first round here in Nepal. And I have to wonder, is DeCrew really going to put on a show for us tonight?
Yeah, I am about 2 inches away from killing a German man because his Camille is stuck permanently in my skull. I kind of want to be like, who is your daddy and what does he do? Statement. Because Loba, my man, please just unbind that keybind, my man. Just don't say it anymore. You have been effective at worming through their skulls. For a second map for Nepal, we are going to my favorite Nepal map. This one is hard for Brawl to take the upper hand, but we aren't seeing very many dive heroes coming through.
It's going to be all death ball here. The tip of the spear in Choi Hyobin and Loba. Look at the high ground position being maintained here by Let's All Press Q. Going in for the charge. Loba's going to connect really quickly. Stun onto Choi. Ricky goes down in the process. There goes the sustain, but the picks are favoring DeCrew right here. Skittles and Mac both go down, and now, despite the boops from Yuta, it's not really going to be enough. A nasty anti-nade lands onto 3 members of DeCrew, but they are going to be able to capture first point here. I wonder what changed. That was a really good fight for DeCrew.
It was surprising because you would imagine, I'm laughing because come here just was spoken. We imagined the high ground would have been favorable, especially because that anti would have been able to land on him, and they did, but it was a little too late. Diva being caught out by the top, but is able to pull back to their team. Now, ultimately, they're coming to the point to fight.
Ooh, look at that counter shatter as well. Choi Hyobin swinging down the hammer, bringing it down to the earth, and bringing down 3 members of Let's All Press Q in the process. Skittles, Mac, all falling. Yuta's the last one in the team fight, and this point is going to continue building progress here for the crew. Really, really nice counter shatter from Choi.
Yeah, and this just shows the strength of Overwatch. It's sometimes you just have a bad map because maps punish uh, certain compositions. Now they are changing to a different rotation. They're coming straight onto the point like the crew did originally.
Yeah, and without Lucio, it's going to be a little bit easier. There's the anti-nade, lands onto Ricky, but no one else. The counter pin ends up, meaning Loba goes down. Graviton Surge eaten by Mini Fridge from D'Aquilas, and it's going to prompt the rally and the Transcendence from both teams, actually. Well, no Transcendence from Let's All Press Q. There's the bomb. Oh, it finds Froggy in the middle of the beat. That's so unfortunate, and a Fire Strike finds Ricky as well. That means that it's time to grab and push onto the point. I don't actually even know if we needed the grab here for Let's All Press Q.
Yeah,
but they will be able to build it.
I do believe maybe Press Q was feeling a little stressed for the time, 75% before they flipped that. Of course, they're taking no time at all to push all the way past the gates to the corner, really only leaving their Ana to the point. And it does look like the crew is doing the smart thing. They are rotating high ground.
And that's kind of the cool thing about the Ghost comp is you really can brawl anywhere here. There's another anti-nade from Ultra really not finding value. You can use it in the middle of some of these team fights, and the stun onto Choi Hyobin is going to lead to a massive shatter. 5 people knocked onto their backs, and that is going to be it for this team fight for the crew.
Yes, now we see the poor little Noah being staggered again. She's just a baby. Unfortunately, they're being very staggered. By now, they would normally kill a diva. I guess they were afraid of her demech, but or her remech kill rather than her demech kill. They are going to have to be holding those tender moments in the high ground, waiting for them. But the good news is Noah does have this bomb, and they do have an opportunity to make this move happen in their favor. They're about to be tied up 75 to, close to 70 by the time they engage again.
And now there's the re-engagement. Choi Hyobin free swinging onto the front lines. Skittles going down in the process. Oh, Loba falls as well. This means that the man advantage here favors the crew. Bomb comes out from Mini Fridge, doesn't quite find anything. Kitty pops the Transcendence, and that means that there is a good chance at winning this fight. As Matt goes down, there's only 3 here remaining for Let's All Press Q. But the fight it's no longer taking place on the objective. B comes out from Yuta, and Kitty Cat is found out by Ultra. Ultra sacrifices themselves in the process. Loba falls victim to the shatter from Choi. Gets stunned as well by Skittles, but who has the rally, but we're gonna see rally actually procced by Ricky here, fighting off Yuta and Mini Fridge in the backlines. Mini Fridge gets demeched, and finally this point will start to be captured here by the crew, but it's 99 to 75 here. They need to win every fight from here on out.
Yes, now there is not a chance to have a death in this. They are going to have to stay alive and stay together. I think the switch to having a Lucio to speed them along is going to go well. We have that rally coming out early for this team fight.
That's a big Graviton Surge. 4 members caught in it. Choi actually goes for the charge, but a counter grab here from Let's All Press Q, and a shatter as well means that the forces of the crew is suffering. 3 people left on point, and they're all squishies. 2 now as Noah's Ark goes down to the pin, and Froggy succumbs to the Fire Strike from the Nano Boost. It was so close. A little bit of aggression here was actually what punished the crew and made them forfeit this objective. A charge from Choi is going to lead him back to the choke, but not to the point, and that is the end of our first map here on Nepal.
Yes, it was such a close map. Map for the second round, we had it's 99 to 99. Of course, Loba getting the play of the game. This really could be countless shatters. This is when they've oh, I don't want to give Loba too many props because I knew that was coming. The 360 Bombotron.
Yep, yep. I'm actually I'm gonna have to come in and actually squelch chat with Loba. I can't. I'm gonna hear come here in my nightmares. This Kit Kat 3.4k Transcendence healing with about 7k healing done on Zenyatta, and that's always a refreshing thing for me to say. For me to see playing a lot of Zenyatta myself is just making sure that you're proactive with those Harmony and Discord orbs. Interesting that the Discord still wasn't able to shred through the sustain here that Press Q had. So I'm curious about whether or not they're going to stay on this Ana Brig composition, or if Kitty Cat is going to have to yield, forego the damage amplification from the Zenyatta and just stick to Mora here.
Yeah, there are definite benefits to having that Ana, but it's GOATS is all about burst and sustainability, and Ana doesn't really provide either one of those except the nades. The nades is really the determining factor because not only do you get that burst of healing, but it negates trans, it negates a lot of AoE heals that come out of GOATS, and it's sometimes a good thing to run on it. They're going to have to be mindful of making changes quick in each round because it's not necessarily that these heroes are bad heroes. It's just if you make a decision to swap, you have to make it quick.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about compositions that really benefit from long team fights, right? And these are team fights that as they're going on, the time bank is wearing thinner and thinner. The objective progress is climbing higher and higher. The payload is getting closer and closer to the end. So you're absolutely right. Proactivity, not just in our abilities, but also in the changes that we make to the strategies. That's what we're going to be seeing from the team. That's what we've seen most from the team that ends up coming out on top. Still a close match in our second round there on Nepal Shrine. We'll be heading into our next map type. That'll be Assault. And we'll be going to Hanamura, which is one of those that I definitely wanted to see tonight.
Yeah, so excuse me, let me read that again. So we are going to be getting a swap side change. So all press Q wants to go to attack, which was already the side that they were on because I have a goldfish memory sometimes. But we are not going to have any swaps inside of their roster. Um, but we will be going to Hanamura, which brings me back to when I was a wee little Zen yesterday. Hanamura was an exciting round for us. B is our producer who also played yesterday. It was probably a fun map for them too. But let's get those R's from the team so we can hop right into Hanamura.
The name of the game here is speed and decisiveness, and it's not just the speed boost that we're going to be getting from our resident Lucio players Yuta and Froggy Bear. It's going to be the decisiveness to take positions that really favor the compositions that we're running. And honestly, Press Q played really well in that first map, but I do have to reflect a little bit on the missed opportunities from Ultra with these Bionades, and so it's gonna be up to Loba and Mini Fridge to put Press Q in the positions. If they want to run this Ana, you've got to be able to get value out of those anti-nades because that cuts through the swath of sustain here that the crew is looking to rely on, and it can also increase the amount of healing that's done for Press Q, especially in the presence of some really good and decisive Discord orbs. We're looking for good target focus. We're looking for the team that wins this is going to be the one that has the better order of operations. If X happens, then Y needs to happen, and everything really here from here on out is conditional. So keep a close eye on where these teams are playing, so that they get value out of these cooldowns.
Yes, and just to stifle any rumors that are happening in the Twitch chat, we're not going poo-poo on your Ana Ultra. I love your Ana. I just have, omnipresent vision right now against your Ana. That's all. But we do
We
see
see
Ultra.
all.
We see Ultra going on that Zenyatta. Maybe because we said some things we said, but I think Zenyatta is the better pick, especially for attack on Hanamura.
Hanamura is one of my personal favorite maps to run Zenyatta on. This is in the context of 2-2-2, although I've always enjoyed Zen on this map. You got lots of open spaces to launch volleys down, corners to peek past, and right now we're looking at mirrored composition. So as you had observed on Nepal, really, there's no kind of dive that's happening here between these two teams. It is the quintessential GOATS composition heading into the defense here for the crew.
Yeah, and we do see the crew holding a little far forward in front of the gates, but it looks like they're going to be quickly retreating back, giving that space up. Loba again with the come here line.
Oh, and the pin as well. Finds Choi and takes him out. Froggy Bear actually ends up getting booped by Minifridge. The damage too much to sustain there. And as Ricky collapses on point, there goes the sustain here for the crew. Kitty Cat is going to be found out by Minifridge. The Baby Diva finding most of the damage, and Skittles getting the final blow. A quick first point take, and it's really just off the back of no counterpin from Choi in response to Loba.
Yes, now the counterpins don't always have to come from the Rhines. You know, they can come from the Briggs that they're running. You know, if you're running a segment, the rocks can come from there as well. But we do see the crew holding the high ground, which is exactly the path that we see Alot's press Q rotate to. So this is going to be fun. We don't have any ults on the map yet, but we're going to have Shatter soon.
Oh yeah, really, really soon. Just a couple of swings, and either of these Reinhardts is going to be looking to do it. There's another pin from Loba onto Choi, gets him out of the fight. Mac is actually dropped. Ricky fighting that fight, ends up losing. The Shatter comes down onto Froggy Bear, and the rally is coming out from Skittles, fortifying the objective presence here for Presque. Noah's Ark is the last pick in that team fight, and now Choi's going to be able to recontest now on the Monkey, props the bubble, but ends up getting booped into the air. Discord Orb shredding through that armor HP and taking them out of the fight. Ricky's going to be able to recontest, and it's a Transcendence from Kitty as well to make sure that everyone lives, but the Transcendence isn't going to be able to mitigate the damage from the pin. Ricky sacrificing the armor HP so close to the rally, has to proc it, but ends up dying to the Fire Strike from Loba. Transcendence out from Ultra as well, and recontest of the objective by two of the tanks here for the crew. Choi Hyobin ends up collapsing. Noah's Ark taking too much damage there. Armor HP just vanishing there in the blink of an eye, and we have a last second contest from Froggy Bear. Isn't going to be able to last long. A rally finally coming out from Ricky, but the speed boost isn't quite enough to get a touch of the objective. 5 minutes in the time bank remaining for Presque.
Now, to the benefit of the crew, that's not actually the record for GOAT so far on Hanamura, so I guess there is that. The snowballing effect from point one was just melting, and at one point for the second capture, it just was stagger. They were not able to come as a 6-man and defend, and ultimately that's what was their demise. You know, as you said, they did the transition, sorry. Okay, the chat is a little funny here. It's and you got to look at that last defense, those last couple, really that last one fight there for the crew, and you have to look at they are cracking me up. You have to look at what the GOATS comp really thrives on, and it's from identifying that one target, that one discorded target that all the damage can fall upon. It's too great to sustain, and you get them one out of the fight, one at a time. You systematically dismantle the enemy team's formation, and that's exactly what ended up happening to the crew there on that last defense. Here's the sneaky position. Choi going for the charge, doesn't quite hit it. Noah's Ark took the pin and gets demeched as well. Dequillis hasn't been able to really particle barrier anyone after sacrificing that on Choi. And in the back lines here for the crew, Froggy, Ricky, and Kitty Cat all go down. And oh man, 30 seconds in and there's already a team kill. Yes, sorry, Ethan, I'm just having a little issue. I'm actually starting to seize just a tiny bit, so I'm trying to get grounded. But we are, that was impressive, 30 seconds in the team kill. But we do see them already coming back at the gate, landing antis, which is such a strong mental fortitude to be able to come back so strong. Unfortunately, though, Chayobin is taken down early on.
Oh, and there's the shatter as well. Goes unmitigated there by Noah's Ark. Ends up collapsing. Ricky as well goes down. There goes Froggy, and Kitty Cat is going to fall as well. I look at this proactivity from Decrew as well. Noah's Ark has swapped from the D.Va onto the Sigma. I don't know what value we're looking to get from the double shield, but I like the shift in composition anyways. Foregoing the damage amplification, which is only a mere 25%, Kitty Cat has opted instead for the utility that you discussed from Ana earlier. There's the rally from Skittles, a shatter from Choi, finds two, big anti-nade cutting through the rally, denying the healing on top of the armor. Bomb is procced here by Mini Fridge, and shields up here for the main tank and support from Decrew. They're finally going to be able to start building progress on this first objective. There's going to be a stagger here, I think. Ultra on the Ana, equipped with the Nano Boost, is just going to have to reset with the team. This is definitely Decrew's point here.
Yes, now I do have to say I can kind of see why they would have gone the Sigma. You know, this Goat's Brawl being so tightly woven that Sigma is going to give them some distance to put some power into the fight before they get close range. Their shield is going to be able to close off bombs. They're going to be able to rock a Rhine as well. Like I said, you can charge a rocket charge. But Rally coming out super early on this high ground.
Oh, there's Noah's Ark pushing a little bit. Now it goes on to Choi, but Choi doesn't block the shatter. 3 now collapsed in the hallway for Decrew, and that is already the end of this team fight. Choi just trying to make the most of that nano boost. Is able to get that shatter for next fight. Froggy Bear goes for the touch. Has the beat coming in for next fight. Noah's Ark 85% to the flux. That's going to be really important.
Yes, now Froggy almost got 1 tick out of that, which I kind of wish they had just gotten that 1 tick, because that would have been hella impressive. Just being able to drop. Sometimes Lucios are known to do that, to kind of abandon their team to do a back cap, and that's the straight definition of a back cap. They are going high ground again, surprisingly.
Choi fighting through this hallway, gets stunned and immediately deleted. There's an anti-nade onto 2, actually only 1 member now. Skittles was antied. The Mac procs the particle barrier onto Self, and here's another reset from Decrew. Honestly, at this point, I'm curious why we're opting for the high ground, why we're opting for that narrow corridor. For me, I would just go main. We've got the flux, we got the beat, we have sustain here in this next fight that's coming up, and we've got the damage mitigation as well. So I'm looking for a different path here.
100%. You know, you can see them as like they read your mind. I agree that they need to start going down. They just need a hard shield to protect from the nade. That's the only reason they shouldn't be going down. The shatter does come out, but is blocked by the Sigma shield.
That was really good, and the counter shatter from Choi as well. The bomb is going to come into the mid lines of Decrew. It's going to be fully mitigated. Kitty Cat ends up succumbing to the damage, caught off in the choke there. Beat is going to drop from Froggy, and it is go time here for Decrew. Graviton Surge is going to come out from Mac. No follow-up on it, though. Choi goes in for the charge, ends up finding Ultra. The armor was enough to mitigate them, and Choi ends up falling. Now 4 strong. Decrew's going to be on the ropes here. Noah's Ark looking for value out of the rock, finds Loba out of the fight, ends up surrounded, however, by, it's all press Q. Ricky and Skittles is engaged on 1v1. Skittles ends up coming out on top, and Kitty Cat is going to fall. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the time bank. That was a really good push. They got ults out from Q, and they have more ults coming up online.
Yes, for sure. Now, I can see that Decrew is being a little hesitant when they're pushing in. Now, just because your Ryan dies early on, or one of your members dies early on, that does not mean your push is gone. That just happens and goes. You have someone to make up the balance when they do die. Of course, you see Chayobin doing the shield, who's working. Grab takes all of the team.
Oh, and there's the Flux and the Grav combo. It's going to shred through that rally armor. Choi finds Yuta out. The rally is procced from Ricky, which means the armor HP here for Decrew is going to be immense. There's a survivability here on this point. It's going to be really good. Choi Hyobin shields up so that no one has the opportunity to contest, and they're going to capture with 142 remaining in the time bank. We're running the Goats comp. There's no reason to sweat over a time bank like that. Decrew has a really good chance at swinging this map, swinging the series, and getting this victory on Hanamura.
Definitely. Now, besides Ultra saying that they threw that, this is definitely because Decrew changed the composition. Mirror matchups is not always the way to go. Switching to the Ana, switching to the Sigma, those were smart decisions. to make for their team, switching their rotation routes. Those are things that you need to do to keep your enemy on the toes and to make these things happen. 2 minutes to 5 minutes is nothing when it comes to GOATs if you are an aggressive team. Of course, the crew being the team with the less amount of time, they're going to be on attack first, and that's great. They get to build the tempo going into this, and they can be as ballsy to the wallsy as they want to be.
I do want to really just praise one thing from our now attacking team into crew. I've never known Gravitic Flux and Graviton Surge to be a good ultimate combo, but you saw how the Graviton Surge locked Loba, a nanoed Loba, in place, and then the Flux followed. Not immediately afterwards, there was a tempo between the two, and that tempo ended up really playing out well for the crew. Now this high ground position is going to need to be thwarted here by the attacking team. This is going to be a quick team fight. I already sense it.
Let's see if they beat their 30 seconds. Oh, not quite 30 seconds, but it does look like they are going to be going in the favor of the crew, shockingly.
Perhaps punished for the arrogance, punished for doing the same thing twice here and expecting a different result. Decrew is going to be able to soundly capture the first objective, aware of the shenanigans here from Presque. Remec tries to come in there from Minifridge, ends up getting staggered and stunned and staggered there by Ricky, who already has the rally, which is really good. Loba now on the Wrecking Ball is going to be looking to contest, just wear down the time bank, and Yuta has connected as well. And anti onto Loba isn't going to mean much, but the damage has to follow through before more members of Presque show up to this objective. Stun and a whip shot, and Loba is out by Ricky. Yuta finding two! Ricky and Froggy both go down! That's going to be a delay in the spawns of the two supports there. They will get the good spawn, as we call it. They'll spawn close to the attacking team, and Yuta has to reset here.
Yes, but that was well worth the sacrifice. Like you said, they got rid of one of the fastest taxing members. Froggy Bear going down early hurt their momentum into second points, but they learned their lesson. Look, they are going down first.
Oh, and there's the counter pin.
Oh,
that's beautiful. We're learning. Ricky ends up collapsing, but the Graviton Surge is going to come out from Daquilus. It locks 4 in place. Daquilus finding Skittles out. That means the sustain here is going to suffer for Presque. A DMAC onto Noah's Ark is not going to be any good, though. But look at that anti onto 4 members. It's going to proc the beat out from Yuta. 30 seconds, and I think that we need to see a reset here from Decrew. No objective progress gained.
Yes, now that is okay though. With a character like Lucio, they have enough time as long as Froggy Bear is going back to taxi that Zarya so they can whip back as soon as they can. Now, ult economy, Q is not allowing any space to be given at all. Rally popping out on the bridge.
On both sides here. Another counter pin. Loba ends up purpled in the process. Bomb gonna be lobbed out by Minifridge. Won't find. Oh, that was 2 bombs. And Noah's Ark is the one that comes out on top. Mac and Yuta both go down to the shatter from Loba is gonna find Chohyobin, and now the forces of the crew are going to suffer a little bit, but not enough for their 2 supports to find 2 picks in the process. Minifridge ends up getting demeched, and an Ultra is just lasered down. Particle barrier for friendly coming out from Mako, but now locked in place with Yuta. It looks like the crew is gonna be able to start building objective progress. Loba's going to look to touch, but they're only going to be able to touch towards objective progress 90 or 80 or 90%. There's Loba with the charge, ends up getting slapped in the process, stunned. The main tank experience being endured by the main tank for... Wow.
God. Full 2 points with 2 minutes. Now that is a record here at Prospect Esports for GOATs. I have not seen that happen with only 1:40 on the clock to do 2 captures. What? Where was this team in Nepal? I feel like maybe this is one of the teams that just, like they gotta work their giants. They just gotta stretch a little, and then they're good. They're golden.
Take a breath and align the win condition. Find yourselves, rally under the banner of this is what we have to do to win. And that's exactly the kind of narrative that Decrew is looking for us to paint in this particular map, at least, and maybe the series as well. Laura, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to remind me because I am a terrible person and I'm horribly forgetful and I don't pay attention very well. Which of these teams did you say you played on and against?
So I normally play on the red team. Let's all press Q. This is a goat
Okay.
team that we created just for goats, just for us to have some fun for the tournament. But I know so many people on both of these teams. I am so torn on who to rally, but of course I gotta rally for my own team. I mean, it just is what it is.
And
But
I
we
think
do we do see Decrew, going forward ahead of Gates, but they are pulling back. They don't want to lose any members before they have to hold, because they have to hold for 5 minutes, and they definitely can. Decrew's almost taken out early, though.
every second is going to matter here in these team fights. There's a stun onto Choi Hyobin, a really good friendly barrier. A stun from Ricky is going to stop Loba in their tracks. Got to stop going for those pins if you're getting punished every single time there. Froggy finds Skittles out of the fight, which means no sustain here for Press Q. Choi Hyobin finds Yuta, and Minifridge is going to get demeched and promptly killed as well. This is a successful first team fight, and it really is much different. It's a much different picture here for Decrew's defense coming into this third. It is the third round here.
Yes, now, I was going to say, Loba needs to pull back the aggression just a little bit. He is charging in forward of the team just a little too much. That was paying off in Nepal, but it's no longer paying off. Shatter, though! Ooh. But huge anti.
Choi Hyobin is armed with a Shatter as well, and Nano Boosted is going to collapse Minifridge, who gets promptly demeched. Caught on the Mega Pack. Mac is going to end up getting picked out of the fight as well. If Decrew knows what's good for them, they're going to get this high energy Zarya out of the fight, and then they're going to be able to reset in the choke. And look at these ults coming up online for Decrew as well.
Yes, they really have the pick of the prompt that they want. They have that grab, they have Rally, and they have that bomb. And Choi Hyobin has been building their shatters pretty consistently. But we do see a grab coming out right in the gate.
No defensive ult here to mitigate it as well, especially considering the anti-nade that landed onto Loba. Skittles falls, Minifridge as well, and it is amp speed and go, go, go into the spawn doors of the attacking team. Rescue is sent back all the way to the arcade, and still, this ult cycle that we're going to see emerge. Choi Hyobin with another Shatter, Noah's Ark with a bomb. I'm curious about if this is going to be another hold in this next fight.
Yeah, we are seeing Kitty's Nano coming up, but Grab is coming out of the gate again.
Choi Hyobin ends up getting canceled there, and the Shatter bomb being dropped by Noah's Ark finds Mac. Noah's Ark picked out of the process, trying to remech by Ultra. Really nice shots there. Minifridge also stunned out of the remech, and this fight has gone the way of Decrew yet again.
Yeah, I do have to say, Kitty Cat Paul has had these amazing timings to really lob those nades around the shield of Loba. I never see the nades landing on the shield. I see them always catching at least 3 of Q's team members, but what are we going to see next? We really only see Trans and Shatter coming out of Q.
And Trans is going to mean it's time to go in. Ricky ends up falling as well as Tequilus to the Shatter. Choi Hyobin gets nanoed in the process of a charge, finds Minifridge and drops the hammer onto Loba, who's the only one who really collapsed there. A mean anti-nade onto 3 of the members of Press Q, as Sane is going to suffer here, and Skittles is going to drop as a result. However, the kills here favor Press Q. Froggy is found out, and it looks like the last kill of the fight is going to be Kitty Cat Paw. This is going to be a first point take here for Press Q.
Now, that felt a little reminiscent of the last capture where Ultra was the Ana that was staggered there, but that's okay. We do see Decrew holding up the high ground, much like they did last time, and it does look like Press Q is rotating the high ground. Now, they don't have a lot in their favor. However, Kitty Cat Paul is going to be able to do the nades in that narrow area. Like we said, don't keep going up there. You're just going to get those nades in your face. This is going to work in Decrew's favor now.
It's not just yeeting it into the Diva Matrix. You slap that against the wall, and you've got 3 or 4 antis there. No antis as a result of that nade into the grab, but the grab was more than enough for them, for Decrew to win this team fight pretty decisively. Minifridge is going to be staggered out in a very similar way to the way that Noah's Ark has been staggered.
Is just a baby. She's gonna jump off the side, and Ricky does not allow that to happen. Of course, that extra little ult charge going into Ricky doesn't really help because they do have their rally, but it just feels good to boot people. However, Minifridge is super close to their bomb, and so is Lobo for the Shatter, so I can see some Shatter bombs coming out just to make quick work. We only have a minute left on the clock. Are we going to see a 4-4 and go into another round, or are we going to have a draw?
Well, there's a rally out from Ricky. Shatter and Graviton Surge spared on the side of Presque as well. Skittles found out of the fight, and an anti-nade is going to lead to picks onto Ultra as well. The beat is going to come out from Yuta. Choi Hyobin drops. Nova's Arc finds Loba. The nano onto Tequilas is going to amplify the damage. Protocol Barrier protects them from the bomb. That mini frigid dropped onto the middle of the objective. Yuta antied and won. Can't even get out. And look at this. We've gone from 5 minutes down to 30 seconds. The Graviton Surge from Tequilas in the last fight was instrumental, not in winning the fight, but in building these ultimates that were spared on the side of Decrew.
Definitely. Now, grabs don't always have to be that killing factor. Like you said, sometimes it can just be enough to postpone it. Now, Q looks like they're splitting on where they're going, but they have decided to go down mid with the rally.
Yeah, and that's going to help to fortify their presence here on the objective. The Shatter comes out. Choi Hyobin blocks it for themselves. Noah's Arc falls, but there's another Graviton Surge from Tequilas. Hammer coming down from Choi as well. Swinging onto the trap members of the Gravity, Yuta and Ultra. Skittles all collapsing. That means no healing here for Presque, and that means that they're locked at 3 points. They're going to lose the Hanamura.
Oh my god, Nyx. My dog is just jumping up because it's crazy over here. The crew is The crew won this play of the game going to Tequilas with these wonderful grabs. Oh, juicy, juicy bubbles.
You gotta love seeing this as anyone who plays Zarya, just having a whole clump of people to lob a high energy alternate grenade fire into, and you spike. I think I've seen some really, I've seen like 40-second Graviton Surge just get high energy, throw that nade into a group of 6 people, and you're already 30% to your next ult.
Yeah, look at that, 54 high energy kills versus 11 charge kills for excuse me, Loba.
For Loba, yeah, really, really aggressive with those pins, and it worked out really well for Presque in a lot of the instances, and then punished them in other places, especially when you had Kitty Cat flex onto the Ana, who was able to nade those and deny any healing resources poured into the tip of the spear for Presque.
Yes, now, just for everybody out there, we will be going to our ad break after that mind-blowing round at Hanamura, but don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss this action between the crew versus Let's All Presque for Prospect eSports Showdown GOATS Season 2, Week 2. Oh, woo, 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 guys. It's me, not the roar, it's Shablor. I am here to tell you about Prospects eSports Showdown, presented by a Dogecoin. You know, there's days that I just lie in bed, I'm like, you know, I really wish I could be a millionaire. And then I go, wait, I could! Please invest wisely. Please invest smartly, because did you know Dogecoin is now on Coinbase? Not sponsored by Coinbase, though. But I can give you a referral coin if you want it, because you know what? I do want to be a millionaire. It's also on Trust Wallet, it's on crypto.com, and you know what? It's even on Robinhood, but I don't really recommend Robinhood. It doesn't let you keep your coin, but you do get the money from it. So, yeah, buy Dogecoin. Woof woof, motherfucker.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for not going anywhere. You are definitely missing out if you did. Here in here in the Goats tournament, week 2, Decrew versus Let's All Press Q. Both teams showing us a really impressive display of prowess and knowledge over the Goats comp, 3 tanks and 3 supports. And here shortly, we'll be heading into our third map of the series. And actually, I think that this is the first series here in the tournament that, at least that we've broadcasted, that'll be going into a 4th map.
Yes, now I'm excited. Blizzworld, I love Blizzworld for one, but after that, we are going to have to see another map, because there's no way that you can get 2 points on Blizzworld despite how hard you can try. I mean, you can try, but it's just not going to be happening.
And thank goodness for that as well. Going into the series, I was looking at the standings between both these teams, and not. I mean, I'm definitely speaking from a selfish place. I want to see more Overwatch. More Overwatch is good for me, as long as I'm not playing. And but especially important for both of these teams. They want, you want the victory point. You want to get a win on this series and go 2-1 instead of 1-1. But even more so than that, you want that map differential to favor you as well. So going into every into the most amount of maps to rack up those map differential, or to rack up those points, that's going to be really important for both these teams right now.
Yes, now every little map differential helps you when you're climbing up the ladder. And it does get more important the further along you are. Like you said earlier in tonight, you want to get those wins in as early as you can.
So Blizzard World is going to be an interesting showdown. Lots of places to duke it out. I anticipate some fights happening here in the choke. Maybe not just playing the objective, although that's definitely a more safe and conventional way to play, especially considering the current way Blizzard World is played in the 2-2-2 role lock meta. But you've got the high ground on Streets phase, you've got the low ground, you've got all kinds of nooks and crannies, closed spaces where the team as a whole would benefit from playing in. So I'm very curious to see where some of these fights take place. And once again, very similar compositions emerging from both these teams. The main difference being Kitty Cat back on that Ana.
Yes, now interestingly, we do see Decrew on the high ground. Maybe that is so that Kitty Cat gets the highest point advantage for those nades. However, we do see Press Q going through the cafe. Ana dropping down early doesn't matter though because the rest of the crew follows.
There's the fire strike from Loba, already getting them 38% to ult charge. Ricky falling to I think that might have been a volley from Ultra. Choi Hyobin going on the aggressive, finding Yuta with the pin. Ends up collapsing to Ultra, and now there's only 3 versus 4 here in favor of Press Q. D'Aquilis trying to pump out as much damage as possible, has to be really mindful about those particle barriers. Anti-Nate connecting onto 2 members, ends up leading to the D-Mech on Mini Fridge. It's going to be an easy elimination here for Noah's Ark, but has to be careful being beamed down by Mac there. Contest of the objective here from Choi, and Ricky comes back. Pin onto Choi isn't really going to do much damage there, and look at Noah's Ark just being ignored there up until Yuta finds them. Now on the Brigitte, Shadow coming down from both sides, but the Nano is going to be applied to Choi Hyobin. Ends up getting pinned there against the wall by Loba. In the meantime, objective progress is being racked up 55% and building here, and we need to see this point recontested here by Decrew. D'Aquilis is looking to touch, body blocked, stunned, bashed, bonked off of the point until it's only Ricky remaining. Not going to be able to remain for long, and look, another 5-minute time bank remaining for Press Q.
As now Ricky did try to valiantly contest it as long as they could, going the high ground to make that pass through that wall, but it just wasn't enough. Now we do see Ultra holding back on the cart. Of course, that leaves Skittles to taxi the team around to go the high ground, where it does look like they're trying to get that advantage. But Decrew deciding to drop down to give up that fight to meet them on the low ground, bomb coming out early.
It's not going to quite find anything, but the grab will. Choi Hyobin ends up falling, and even despite the triple anti-nade that had been connected onto Press Q and the bomb coming out, really no eliminations favoring Decrew here. They're going to collapse on the objective. It was a good fight. They managed to take it pretty close around that corner, and now they're going to have another opportunity to reset, get another fight or 2 in for the second point.
Yes, Froggy Bear is able to taxi out Kitty Paul. That would have been a very painful stagger indeed. Now, I do want to say this, we do have quite an active chat now. Bin retired himself, showing up to shit talk us all. Shatter, though, getting the bulk of Decrew out.
And there's the beat as well. It's going to keep the team sustained. Another nano boost and a graviton surge from Choi Hyobin. And it looks like I'm actually lagging out a little bit. Oh no, I'm missing out on so much Overwatch.
Yes, the
okay,
crew was not able to contest the point, unfortunately, but they are mostly alive. They did have the upper hand. They're going to have to quickly retreat though, because that area outside of Duskwood is now their spawn point. Drop it.
I am so disappointed. I lagged out there for a second, so I missed out on pretty much that whole team fight. I didn't get to see Nano Choi Hyobin free swing onto like 4 people caught in a grab there. And it looks like my ping is spiking again as the next team fight breaks out. Rally coming out from Ricky. He's going to prompt the Transcendence as well from Ultra. Shatter coming down from Choi Hyobin, and it's going to find 3. Massive anti-nade. The counter Shatter coming out from Loba, and the Rally as well. Deployed by Yuta, fortifying the objective with Rally armor. So incredibly broken, and this is another team fight win for Press Q.
Yes, now it does look like they may be able to break this momentum by Mega. This is a common place to break it, but you know, Press Q is not allowing this to happen. They're pushing back all the way to Mega. Or, excuse me, all the way to spawn.
You've got some ultimates here in the bank for Decrew. You've got the bomb, you've got the nano. That's going to be essential onto Choi Hyobin, get the damage out, get close to that shatter, but there's a grab in the bomb as well. It's going to be hard to block all of that. The bomb actually doesn't end up finding anything. Mini Fridge goes for the remech, doesn't find anything. Choi Hyobin finds Loba out with a damage boosted fire strike, and now Mini Fridge is in the backline, separating, isolating the forces of Decrew from each other. Choi Hyobin is going to be deprived of the healing resources, the multitude of healing that could have been offered there by Froggy Bear and Kitty Cat as they both collapse off the point. And 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes actually remaining for Press Q. But if Hanamura was there to teach us anything, it's that we can't bank on that time bank.
Exactly. The time bank does not mean anything. You know, we can go faster or we can just whittle down that time bank in another round, because what they were able to accomplish in 2 minutes was just insane for Decrew. Now, despite taking that break to feed my dog, he is starting to get even more crazy, and I fear that maybe me yelling at him was caught on live. So, sorry guys, I wasn't doing a fetish. I was yelling at my doggy. But we do have a very active Twitch, what I wanted to get into before
Mhm.
we saw a huge shatter coming out of Loba. Been retired said, I want Ethan to cast my team so much energy. Mighty Owl also giving praise to us. But they're saying if
Aw.
Decrew actually loses, the standing will drastically change. Edible Play-Doh saying, that's my nephew! Oh! At least
Much love to all of our viewers, anyone who's participating in the chat as well. Love to see, love the interactions here between this whole community, especially being as new to Prospect Esports as I am. It's so fun to see such a lively group of people.
yes, now we are requesting a pause momentarily. Um, and never mind, I got debated by somebody. Now we are going to be seeing this attack by the crew with the defense. I have a feeling Ultra's Ana is going to do some punishing nades.
Yep.
But it appeared maybe Ultra was the one lagging, and that's why they were requesting that pause. Going through Cafe again is a wise rotation for Goats.
Yeah, just avoiding any excess damage. That's the name of the game when you're playing tank. There's a stun onto Loba, going down to Froggy Bear, finding the critical, or finding the final blow. Oh, Dequillis ends up casting Yuta into the sea there, off the docks. Choi Hyobin ravaging through the front and the mid lines here for Press Q, and Ultra resets while Skittles is sent on the ropes.
I'm sorry, we were talking about time bank, but I'm pretty dang sure the crew just beat the time bank of the first capture round, unless someone's gonna tickle the point and they're not 5 minutes, 41 seconds. That, I'm sorry, I have never seen a faster capture of point A on Blizz World. You love to see it.
For me, I love to see it. Decrew is really showing us that they are undaunted here running this comp, and as Kitty Cat finds Yuta out, it means it's go time here for this attacking team. Counterpin coming out, or rather, I think it was a bash actually, that stopped Loba in their tracks. Loba has to cut through the front lines here, ends up collapsing to the damage from Dequillis. Kitty Cat is eliminated as well. Mac is on the objective trying to beam down Dequillis. Ends up being body blocked here by Noah's Ark. Choi Hyobin reconnects. The separation, I think, ended up hurting Decrew a little bit. There's the solo shatter onto Mini Fridge. Where's the trash talk now? Choi Hyobin is calling to the defending red team as Yuta has picked out the fight yet again. This man's out here playing Respawn Simulator. Already another team fight breaking out here on the high ground. Shatter coming up from Loba. Ends up dropping Choi Hyobin and Noah's Ark. Foggy Bear separated now. Has to keep the team sustained, especially since Choi Hyobin has collapsed. The beat is going to press the objective here. And look at the bomb! Mini Fridge finds two supports in Noah's Ark, all going down to the nuke launched by Mini Fridge. Dequillis is going to be sent back to spawn, hopefully with all that energy remaining. And wow, what a long team fight. And Decrew really didn't get as much space as they wanted off of it either.
Yeah, now Kitty Paul was going to be the cart person. They did drop the cart very early on to engage in the team fight, and that ultimately hurt the cart push. But look at this bomb coming out of Noah, catching to Kitty Paul, following up Loba and Yuta. That is just going to give them all the way to second point, I fear, except we do see this Diva running away. I thought Mini may have touched, but I guess they are deciding to push with their team. They do have a rally, they do have a nano, they have a good chance to stop this cart's momentum.
Dequillis finds the stagger onto Ultra, and that means that the manpower, the man advantage is going to favor Decrew here. Going in for the pin, Loba isn't able to find anything. Transcendence in response to the Graviton Surge, and now all damage being dished out onto Decrew. Off the back of a Shatter that drops 3 people. Nano Boost onto Loba is going to amplify the damage done, and it's going to lead to an elimination on Choi Hyobin and a D-Mech onto Noah's Ark. Launching to the high ground, Loba is going to free swing onto Ricky. Froggy goes down, and look at that, 1.8 meters, and Decrew just loses that last crucial fight.
Yes, now being where they were, that spawn was so close that Ultra did come back very quickly, and being that Ana was able to do the healing from afar, really giving that benefit. It does look like we have the high ground being taken up by Press Q. And of course, you know, Decrew is trying to fight back on the high ground. We do see that early pick off of Loba. which is going to really help them.
Once again, the man advantage favors the crew. There's the beat to keep them sustained on the objective. The anti-nade really not meaning much there onto 3 members of the crew, and Kitty Cat dishing out the discords here onto Minifridge in particular. Has to launch the bomb to stay alive. It goes unblocked by Ricky and Daquillis. Shatter from Troy Hilbin is going to knock Yuta and Skittles both down, and it looks like Loba wasn't even able to touch. A charge into the backlines though, trying to help Kitty Cat as they get dove, and they're going to use the Transcendence here in the latter stages of a lost fight.
Yeah, no. Not having that trans is going to hurt them desperately this next round. Now, I do want to say, Ryan Boy saying, good job, son. Your mom and I are so proud of you. And I'm not sure who they're referring to in the team fights, but we're proud of you, son. Your mom, your dad, and everyone here. That shatter, though, coming out of Loba, unfortunately, is not enough to take down Chobin.
Yeah, maybe that's something to be a little bit less proud of. The rally coming out from Yuta, from both sides actually, as Mac finds himself trapped on grab. Noah's Ark drops the bomb right in front of Yuta, ends up collapsing, not to the damage from the bomb, but to the damage from Choi Hyobin. Anti-nade dropping onto the crew, but it's not enough. They'll finally capture this the second objective.
Now, finally, that sweet noise to my ears. Look at them chasing Loba so far. Choyobin has been tired of getting killed by Loba. It was just retribution at that point. We do see Kitty back on the cart. Now, please, Kitty, stay on the cart. Resist all urges to leave the cart. You need to cover as much ground as possible. They are trying to contest this Diva off the high ground with the Lucio by Let's Press Q. Minifridge does dive down, though.
Look at this team fight breaking out. The Nano being committed onto Loba. Finds the Shatter onto 2, 3, actually. Noah's Ark getting demacked, and Ricky going down as well to the damage from Mac. Discorded. Ends up getting picked out of the fight by Kitty. That is not the pick that you want to see light up your kill feed if you are playing for Press Q. Kitty Cat ends up collapsing, so it's not going to mean much, but I mean, you sacrifice the energy, you get a little bit of ult off of that, but that's a little unfortunate for Mac. More unfortunate is the grab whiff from Daquillis. I don't know if it was a fat finger or an attempt to trap Minifridge, but it doesn't matter. Decrew is going to use this man advantage to press the attack on the objective here. Another shatter from Loba, drops Noah's Ark and Kitty. Bomb coming out from Minifridge isn't going to connect to anything. Loba falling in the process, and the Transcendence being well used here by Kitty Cat. Another shatter from Choi Hyobin, drops to Minifridge, is close to getting demeched, has to get out of that mech so that there's no opportunity to stall. A lot of the stall here we've been seeing is from Minifridge. They need to get him out of the fight.
We don't want to let that baby diva stay around because the name of the game is to get this cart as far as possible. Now, they are not opting to push forward. They're trying to keep 3 on the cart. Rally coming out early by Ricky.
They want to capture this objective with any time remaining. They don't want the time bank to run out. And with Loba going down in this fight and the Shatter coming out despite the grab, the beat coming out as well in response to an anti-nade, the bomb being dropped as well. So many ultimates and so much value. 3 picked out of the fight here for Press Q. And now we're going to see Loba swap onto the Wrecking Ball, but we don't know that they're going to be able to touch. Stunned out of the roll, and there's no opportunity. 1 minute to 3:49, and it's still... I'm sitting here at my desk thinking that Decrew still has a really good chance.
Now, rest in peace, headphone users. That was 2 Poco-esque bombs this round. Once by Mini, once by Noah's Ark. Just amazing, amazing bomb. I know, Nikki, it's so amazing. It's just insane and crazy. Now, we do have a minute left for Decrew to the almost 4 minutes by Let's Press Q, but we have seen crazier things happen. We could still potentially get a draw out of this. We could still go to another round.
And once again, speaking from a place of selfishness, that's absolutely what I want to see.
You're not wrong. You're not alone.
This is my favorite composition of all time. I don't get to see this comp. If I try to solo queue into an open queue game, I'm not going to be able to convince 5 other people who all instantly lock DPS heroes to suddenly play GOATs. More importantly, to play it well, like we've seen both of these teams do this evening.
Yes.
Here, starting on the attack, Decrew has their work cut out for them, though. This time bank, it's still, like you said, it doesn't mean much, but it still does favor Let's All Press Q here on the defense.
Yes. Now, a minute being left is pretty much two team fights if they're quick about this. So they need to be using their Lucio wisely, which Froggy has shown that they are great at staying alive, sustaining the fight. And they're going to be going straight now. They're not going to be going down capping. They don't have the extra time to do it.
Yeah, it's just going to be straight to the objective here, and Minifridge tanking quite a bit of damage there. Choi Hyobin suffering the Discord, losing that armor HP so incredibly quickly, ends up staying alive. Ultrafine is the first blood of this match, and Dequilis is taken out of the fight as well. That's a lot of damage out for Decrew. Stun onto Mac is going to push them back a little bit, and Choi Hyobin is going to be able to fortify the corner of this objective, pushing the forces of Press Q backwards a little bit. Choi Hyobin sacrificing the Shadow in the process. Yuta ends up collapsing, but is going to get right back up. Mac still in the back lines, has to be picked out. Minifridge is going to look to contest both supports. I'm sorry, two supports here, dropping for Decrew. It's a 2v3 here, and with no support, Choi Hyobin and Noah's Ark might actually suffer here, especially in spite of the rally from Yuta, which is going to be used to find Choi Hyobin out of the fight. Dequilis has to touch here. Noah's Ark stunned and isn't able to remac after getting picked out of the fight. Dequilis is on the ropes. There's no opportunity here for another fight from Decrew. Nope.
Yeah,
What is that,
Froggy
54%?
Yeah, Froggy was so close to touching as it was 54.5, which it was one tick and almost the second one being completed. Still, that amount of capture being able to be done with 1 minute on the time bank is impressive. Now, it did help that Decrew has such a fast attack. That is why they were able to capture it so quickly in their first round. It's definitely looking a lot easier for Press Q. We're going to have to see Decrew hold far. You know, they're not going to have to, excuse me, they're not going to be able to give up any player because one team fight is going to be able to give Let's Press Q the 2 ticks that they need. They only need 54.5 or 54.6. They don't need to go beyond that to win this. That's plenty of time to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, that means it's win or lose here for Decrew. They were able to take that much percentage, which means if they're able to hold that 54%, then they will come out on top of the series, leading 2-1 against Press Q. But once again, I mean, the time bank really favoring Press Q, and when we reflect on how quick their attacks have been, both this map and Hanamura, things are looking pretty bleak here for the Decrew squad.
Yes. Now, if there was more time on having to capture the entire map, maybe. But this is just 55% needed to capture it in 4 minutes. It's totally doable. Now we do see them going through, and Kitty Cat unfortunately does get taken out early by Ultra.
It's over. Choi Hyobin goes in for the charge, which means the mid line is exposed here for the invasive forces of Press Q. Choi Hyobin is going to be caught out. There's no need for sustain here without your main tank present, and one by one, Decrew is going to collapse on the objective. It was over. It was over as soon as Kitty Cat dropped. They swapped to the Moira, looking to recontest, looking for a touch, but there's no chance. And now Press Q is leading this series, 2-1, match point from here.
Yes, and that was an impressive showing by both teams. Of course, let's see this Poco Bomb by Minifridge. I would be completely shocked if it wasn't. Oh.
This was the quadruple, I think, or it was a triple, just thrown over the turret there. And yeah, off the back of a DMAC, it's going to find 3, including 2 of the supports. I mean, every hero in this formation is incredibly important. Look at these numbers: 85% kill participation from Yuta. Loba doing 18,000 damage there over the 14 minutes. 30 high energy elims from Dequilis, and I think that was 17k healing from our Brigade player for Decrew, which was Ricky. I'm so terrible.
No, that's okay. It definitely didn't help that I reset the lobby instead of back to lobby. But yes, those are such high numbers, and you only get those high numbers out of goats.
Yep.
Now, like you said, this is the point match because it is 1st to 3 for Prospect eSports Showdown goats. So this can go in the favor of Press Q, where we end it all here, or the Q can make us go into another round, which would be fun for us. Might be a little terrifying for our audience.
Yeah, maybe. But I'll sacrifice our viewers at at the expense of me being able to watch a little bit of Overwatch. I'm so sorry, you guys, but y'all are stuck here with me as we head into our next map. It looks like it's going to be Havana, and we talked in the booth a little bit prior to the match starting, and I had actually mentioned that I wanted to see a Havana match.
Yes.
This map wasn't out when Goats Comp was run, and you can definitely run Goats Comp in an open queue game, but I haven't actually ever had the chance to spectate or much less cast a goats composition or a goats battle on this particular map, which is abundant with high ground. So once again, I'm really curious about where some of these fights are going to take place. Where are you going to hold? Are you going to hold on the high ground and sacrifice the ult charge, sacrifice those initial instances of damage or healing? Are you going to hold close, like a lot of teams are opting to do when they're on the ropes with not a great time bank? It should be really interesting from either of these teams.
Yes, and one composition that we haven't seen at all tonight, which is dive goats or,
Hmm.
Sigma ball goats, which is definitely a thing that was a meta for a while. Not necessarily the ghost part of it, but the ball Sigma was definitely there. And those are the types of compositions that can really shine on Havana. But good old brawl goats, you know, you have fun, especially with these sidelines. Zin and Ana can really pay off because they have those long swaps to get those 5 orbs. They have the anti-space. And so it can be a sniper's alley, but for old robots and old grays. I mean, it is a it's a paradise, really. So it's going to be interesting to see what's coming out. They may pick their more traditional goats, and we can still see some fun out of it. But I'm hoping I get at least one monkey, or maybe a ball,
Just give
maybe.
us one monkey. Give us one ball. We did get to see Noah's Ark on the Sigma, and that was a really interesting pick, and definitely something that afforded them to crew the win on Hanamura. So for once again for this map with its long angles, long sight lines, you might benefit from a poke tank like Sigma, but with a I mean, I'm never disappointed to see Goats comp, so I can't say with a little disappointment or
Disappointment.
sigh exasperation, or a sigh of exacerbation. I mean, we're gonna see it brawled out. We're gonna see it duked out over the objective. But it looks like we're gonna hold Decrew. Our defending team is gonna hold inside the. It's just gonna hold inside this lobby here for a little bit.
Yes, which I have seen done plenty of times. To be any closer, you really need a TP or a maze, something to protect yourself. So I don't hate this lobby defense right now, but we are going to be seeing some of these Zen with these long pathways. I can see this. Look at they charging! They're charging!
There we go. Yup, the hold close. Joe Hillman free swinging into the entrance. Yuta getting caught out by Ricky, and when you're playing against a Goats comp, even if you're running the Goats, oh, what? Mini Fridge just on the Roadhog, goes in for the hook onto Kitty Cat, ends up getting punished by Tequilus. The damage in the Discord, the stun all factoring into that elimination. That looked really harrowing there for a second.
He's a big chunky boy. He's easy to shoot at. That's one reason why I love hate Hog, depending if he's on my team or against me. He's just easy to throw nades and discords at. But look at this insanity! Oh.
I'm wondering, and okay, all right. If there's one thing you got to pay attention to, okay, let me get my thoughts in order. For one, I'm wondering if Press Q is even going to be able to leave spawn. That's my first question. My second question is, when is Shohyobin going to stop neglecting the mid lines in favor of doing the damage here? But they need to do the damage with the Discord on Loba Cap. Loba is going to be forced back, goes in for the pin. The rally being procced out by Ricky. It's going to fortify the team's presence here over by this entrance. Yuta going down, and even despite, see, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Mac weave their way into the backlines here of Decrew, and I'm wondering when it's going to end up punishing them.
Yes, now we did see the cart move forward just a smidgen, but Noah shut that down super fast, pushing it back all the way to 0-0. I'm not quite sure how strong this hold is, but Trans is going to be able to push them out. Double grab, though.
Oh my goodness, and the shatter from Choi Hyobin as well, cleaning up this fight and sending the remaining tanks back to spawn. It looks like the damage was almost too much for Mac to sustain. They are going to make it out alive, though.
Yes, now in Twitch chat, been retired is saying keep Ultra in or we retired. Or we not we retired. Wow, that was such a weird slip. We riot. Of course, the Shatter though getting the whole team. Loba taking out Choyobin.
This is it. This will.
Oh,
Oh no, Froggy! You play Lucio. You know that you need precise timing in order to beat a Diva Bomb with the sound barrier, and that really needed to be used in another fight because Kitty Cat is only 33% to ultimate here.
yes. Now, other things that we have said is Ultra has been begging apparently to be taken out, saying that everyone's saying my Ana is trash, my Ana is trash, but
Oh
no one will
no!
take me out. Skittles
No, the
though,
Ana
getting
isn't
that
trash.
beat.
Look at Mini Fridge lining up the kill feed as well. Nozark gets dim-macked. DeQuils is taken out of the fight, and no, no one's saying Ultra's Ana is trash. I hope in the in the Twitch chat. Definitely not from me either. But in terms of value, Ultra's definitely getting a lot out of the Zenyatta here. So I like seeing them on that.
Yes. I think Ultra's. Oh, but this Shatter though coming out of the gates really took the crew off of the. Go ahead, Ethan.
I was just gonna say in the aggression from Joy Hilbin finds 2 supports, but it's gonna be sent back to spawn themselves.
Yeah.
I want to see our main tank. If Reinhardt is the tip of the spear of the formation of the Goats comp, then why is the spear breaking? Why is the shaft being shattered in 2 when Chohyobin goes on the aggressive and the forces of press Q weave themselves into the midline of Decrew?
For sure. Now this grab coming out from above and below as a fun little function on the bridge. Trans coming out though to stop this and really get this aggression down. This bomb though isn't going to be another juicy one.
Oh, Chohyobin had it blocked. They had it blocked, and they whipped their shield around and end up succumbing to the damage from Minifridge's bomb. However, Decrew will win this team fight. They have to thwart a high-energy Mac with a Discord, and now they've stabilized here. 2.5 minutes remaining in the time bank.
Yes, the stabilization has definitely been required. That really non-stop momentum from the time that they fell at spawn doors, but hey, they held them for a long ass time at spawn doors. No one can fault them for that. It does look like this the crew does throw out their graph.
And off the assistance of a pin from Chohyobin, Loba is going to be found out by Kitty Cat. Minifridge taking to the high ground here, looking to pour down the damage as the supports mount the high ground. End up finding Chohyobin there, but DeQuils takes out Mac. Beat drops from Skittles, and the rally comes out as well from Ricky. Is going to keep the team armored and sustained on this objective as 2 supports collapse here for Press Q. Looks like they're going to be sent back a little bit. Ricky, be careful, goes in for the stun onto Loba, discorded. Loba will not be able to survive, and now the next target is Minifridge, who has the boosters to get out of there.
Yes, now sorry, I just had to quickly remind again that I am casting. I don't want the world to bother me right now, please. We do see the crew pushing up aggressively, though, all the way to the gate door, not allowing Press Q to come in even an inch. Loba getting punished for it.
Kitty Cat, second time in the fight, finding Loba out first and gets Yuta as well. Yuta getting a little bit greedy there in the midline of Decrew. We're getting a request for a pause from Ultra as well. Possibly some lag, some rubber banding here from our resident Zenyatta flex support player for Press Q. A couple things to be looking at here, and I mean, obviously, our keen-eyed viewers will see all of those gleaming check marks next to the names of all of these players, next to their portraits here. Ult advantage, it certainly looks like it favors Decrew here, but it is going to be important to also understand the order in which these ultimates are used, the combinations that are required to get value out of these ults. We're going to have to watch those very carefully because really. A couple ults, or you know, one ult and a couple of cooldowns. That's all it takes to swing one of these fights here for Press Q, and they need to swing it. 52 seconds remaining in the time bank. They got stymied here a little bit at 38 meters or so. They want to capture that second objective because they want as much opportunity for pushing and defending here in the next round or two. They want to. They want to win this series with a decisive 3-1, so they need to start turning something around.
For sure. Now, we do see that disconnect on the board. No shocker, as a teammate of Ultra, their internet, their PC sometimes just likes to take a
Oh
little
no.
vacation in the middle of important tasks, but it's okay. We love you, Ultra. We love you whether you're on Ana, whether you're on Zenyatta. It just comes from the coach, that hate. It doesn't come from us.
No,
But
not at all.
like you said, we want that decisive win if we can get it. I know, love, I know. And we are going to get that, hopefully, if we can turn things around, but it does not look like Decrew is allowing that at all. Um, I think my dog is pretty ready for it to be a decisive game too.
Yeah, and perhaps some of our viewers, especially those who were there for Overwatch League 2018 when Goats Comp was the only thing we watched. Hopefully, no one's getting tired of the Goats Comp, especially here on a map that we
Never.
haven't gotten to see it played on. I'm absolutely thrilled. You mentioned that Decrew just really is not letting Press Q have any control here, and map control is going to be really important in every game, but especially in the Ghost Comp, because if you're holding a space, then it costs resources from your team to take that space back. And speaking of back, we do have Ultra back, albeit probably back at 0% ult charge, but with all the healing and damage that Ultra is responsible for doing there on the Zenyatta roll, it's going to be only a matter of time until they get that Transcendence back. Once again, keep a lookout for these ultimates that are going to be used in this upcoming fight.
Yes, now we do have quite a lot of them to pick from, and it does look like the crew, just as we were saying, being aggressive, they are backing off. The shatter, huge shatter.
At the same time, and the grab to follow up as well from D'Aquila's, the bomb being lobbed from both sides. Transcendence coming out as well from Kitty Cat Paw to keep people sustained. Look at Noah's Ark light up the kill feed there with 2 picks with the bomb onto 2 of the tanks here for Press Q. And look at this, 15 seconds remaining in the time bank. Every fight is last team fight territory. Every fight has to happen here on the objective, and Decrew is looking pretty happy maintaining this high ground position with a rally in the bank.
Yeah, we do see a switch off. We do see Ultra coming onto the Moira, hopefully saying if we can last longer, maybe this will be better. We see a double rally coming out.
As well as the Discord onto Loba. Got to be really careful. Loba being kept up by the rally and the damage mitigation that Yuta is responsible for. Going in a little aggressive here. Chohyobin and Ricky looking for picks off of the Shatter. Ricky getting a little bit greedy there. Goes down to a melee finish from Minifridge off the back of that elimination. We're going to see the beat drop as well from Froggy, but Skittles has a beat of their own to keep Q in this fight. Decrew is looking for those picks. Mac overextending, possibly getting punished. There's the Shatter and another grab. The tank ultimates rolling out like it's on the manufacturing line here for Decrew, and another Shatter from Loba is going to find Choi Hyobin, but the Transcendence is responsive from Kitty Cat. Rally is going to be deployed here by Yuta, once again fortifying the point with the rally armor. Loba finds Kitty out with the pin, and another support going out from a pin from Choi Hyobin. Yuta collapsing, and the man advantage here favors, well, it favored Decrew, but off the back of a Shatter from Loba, Ricky and Choi Hyobin both going down. It looks like finally a little bit of space is going to be maintained, controlled here by Let's All Press Q. Froggy Bear has to get out and reset with the rest of the team. That was a long team fight, and definitely one well won by Let's All Press Q.
Yes, now they are in overtime. Now they just need to get together. They can contest this before they give up this next point, and they do seem to be kind of taking their time. Decrew, what are you doing, guys? Don't be standing still. You need to be running forward.
Waiting for Froggy Bear. I'm not sure why they were waiting on Froggy Bear. Maybe went a little too far there. An early bonk is going to proc that Inspire, keep the team sustained as Decrew re-engages here onto the objective. Shatter coming out, connects to a shield, however. Minifridge looking for one of the backline supports, actually looking for D'Aquila's, looking to take them out of the fight. There's the bomb from Noah's Ark on the payload. Finds Skittles, Chohyobin finds Loba as well. Bomb in response from Minifridge isn't going to connect anything. It's going to be heartedly blocked by Chohyobin, and that's going to mean the grab has to do something from Mac. However, grabbed off the objective and discorded. 3 members of Let's All Press Q are going to fall. The Shatter is going to cancel the Coalescence, and the Coalescence from Ricky is going to... Oh, I'm sorry. There was no Coalescence actually from Ultra. Coalescence came out from Ricky, and the beat as well. Just the amount of tools here that Decrew had in this last team fight, and the amount of resources, the amount of ults that they were able to build, they were favored to win that.
Yes, now that felt like the longest Havana fight I have ever
Yeah.
witnessed in my life, and that is even discounting that pause, because that pause was not that long of an incursion. I think it really just was how long the crew was able to keep Let's All Press Q in the spawn, which I've never seen successfully done without a Mei or without a TP to be able to get you back and forth. But I guess when you have 3 tanks and 3 supports, you're not going to be dying anytime soon. Who knew Goats was like that?
Who would have guessed that a
Who would
team
have?
composition built around sustain and damage mitigation would be able to last that long, or stonewall an opposing team for that long, and in a space that was really designed for 2-2-2, right? We look at Havana, we look at these long sight lines, we think Hanzo, Widow, Ashe, Soldier 76. We look at this narrow space, and you mentioned the Mei and the Symmetra. I think about double shield composition, not triple shield like you might see in a Goats comp. No triple shield for either of these teams, though. Once again, going for that quintessential Goats composition, but Choi Hyobin doing a little bit of trolling there on the Roadhog. You saw it briefly.
I did. Now, it does look like Loba is going to pull a little bit of the crew out, but it does look like the crew sensed it and went out the side door.
They know the game. They know that they wanted to hold close, and Minifridge is going to get punished for that knowledge, already being demacked. Loba is going to get killed early, and Mac has to proc personal barrier, but probably won't be able to survive. Just turn around and run, Mac. Just get out of there. A remake on Minifridge is going to increase the point presence here for Press Q, and they're going to be able to get out, avoiding the stagger elimination. But one on cart, and look at the space being controlled here by DeCrew.
Yes, the crew is not backing up anytime soon. They're pushing beyond the spawn almost. Pretty much going to heaven. Now, this may backfire on them if they lose enough numbers, because they're going to give up all of this space, but Kitty is holding true to this point, giving up all the space that they can. They're going to be able to hold this cart until their teammates can join them again.
Oh no, and Froggy Bear is going to get staggered as well. Look at him, 2 HP in a dream here. A friendly barrier projected onto them. Get out, Froggy Bear, you can wall ride, you've got mobility, you're Lucio. Why get staggered like that? You can see Kitty Cat just floating there, perhaps with a little disappointment. And that's actually really bad for DeCrew. As the bomb comes out from Minifridge and the Shatter as well, it's going to be blocked, both of those ults, by Choi Hyobin, and the grab is going to come out from Dequillis as well. Coalescence and Beat dropping here for Let's All Press Q, and the Shatter is enormous here from Choi Hyobin. But the sustain here from this team off the Beat and the Coalescence is going to be more than enough to keep Let's All Press Q alive in this fight. Choi Hyobin is going to free swing onto Loba, finds him out of the fight. However, Tequillis has fallen, and now the forces of DeCrew are subjected to the Graviton Surge. Rally is going to come out from Ricky, but it may be too little too late as Choi Hyobin has fallen, and the Beat is going to drop from Froggy Bear as well. It's all the resources they need to keep Noah's Ark in the fight. Noah's Ark being most of the damage here, but they have to watch out for Minifridge cutting through the mid lines and looking for picks onto those supports. Yuta needs to find the pick onto Kitty, who needs to live in order to get that next Transcendence. 93 in building, and they drop dangerously low. However, the tanks have rejoined the objective, but 2 supports have fallen. Choi Hyobin finds the Earth Shatter onto Minifridge. Minifridge deploys the bomb. Transcendence coming out from Kitty, manages to mitigate the follow-up damage off of the Shatter. Kitty ends up succumbing to the charge as well, lives through that because of the invulnerability buff that Zen gets from that ultimate. Oh no, Noah's Ark looking for the remake, ends up getting caught in the grab and taken out of the fight, and the Rally and Coalescence both come out as finishers to this lengthy and arduous fight.
Yes, now, for how long that fight was, they were able to get a lot of ults out of it, but unfortunately, DeCrew does not have a lot of ults for themselves coming into it. We do see Noah with their juicy bombs coming into it, but that's about it. Grab shortly after them, though. Look at this rotation. They have been noticed by Let's Press Q, but this is an interesting decision to go the back way with only 60 seconds left of the clock.
They need to win this fight. They need to be able to start taking the brewery and capturing space. It's going to start with a Graviton Surge, the Shadow coming out from Loba and Choi Hyobin, the bomb finding Mac. And I think actually that was a bomb from both sides. Mini already 50%. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a remake that they're looking to do. DeCrew has won this fight, and I think that they'll be able to start taking first point as long as they get Ultra out of the fight there. But fortify the objective. Don't get greedy here, DeCrew.
Yes. I would say get 3 people on the cart, and you can already tell that they're going to be right outside of that gate.
The recontest is inevitable here for Let's All Press Q, and the DMEC onto Minifridge is going to mean bad news here for that recontest. Sustain is going to suffer, point presence is going to hurt here for Let's All Press Q as Matt goes down as well, Yuta collapses, and this fight was really more to get those next ultimates in the bank, see if there was an opportunity to draw out some of the resources here for Decru, but ultimately they will capture 2.5 minutes in the time bank remaining for them to push only a little bit longer, actually.
Yeah, and if they can get Loba staggered, this is really going to help them. And they do know it does take out Loba, which is going to hurt Let's All Press Q for this recontest, because they don't have to get second point. They just have to get just right before it. Now they're going to have to wait on Loba.
And they're going to fortify this high ground as well. They're going to play here and once again look to deny as much space as they possibly can. But they got to watch out for Kitty Cat. Might have to use that Transcendence if they get dive bombed by any of the tanks here for Let's All Press Q. Falling victim to the follow-up damage to the Grav. Loba is the first blood in this team fight. Ricky getting a little aggressive and falling to the Coalescence from Ultra. Really, really good ult from our support player for Let's All Press Q. Bomb coming out from Minifridge. Doesn't find anything. That's really unfortunate as Ultra's found out with a Fire Strike. It looks like the manpower here is suffering for Let's All Press Q. High energy Aquilus is going to be able to pump out the damage. Kitty Cat pops the Transcendence to make sure that nobody dies, and it's also going to mitigate the follow-up damage onto the Shatter tossed by Loba. It could have waited. It got to touch the cart. The cart! Touch the cart! Minifridge goes to contest, ends up getting booped off. Skittles is found out of the fight. Ultimately, it's only a DMAC to Minifridge, a Baby Diva, and an Ultra fighting on the objective. Rally coming out from Ricky, meaning no one here dies, and the bomb is going to be deployed by Noah's Ark. It doesn't find anything, but it is going to push Ultra further and further back. Is there anyone who can touch? No! Grabbed on the other side of the wall. Loba is trapped, unable to recontest, and that is it. This series is even now, 2-2 for both these. And that means we're going into our tiebreaker, our 5th map.
Now, Minifridge was the player that prevented this from being a complete C9 to begin with, but this bomb definitely deserves all the showcase. Juicy.
Yeah. Goes for the remake kill as well. Doesn't quite find it, but you always appreciate the effort there for the remix.
Yes. Now, we did have a poll prediction coming out for who do you think was going to win round 4. Believe it or not, we're going to need that poll prediction for round 5. But before that, we're going to go for a little tiny break because our players need it. My dogs need it. You know, I'm sure our voices need it too.
Yeah, a little bit. With as much as is going on in these team fights, it'll be nice to get a break, unless your name is Lord Thethan and you just like talking incessantly. Be sure not to go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for not going anywhere. If you are gonna leave, you're missing out on our last map here between Decrew and Let's Press Q. Perhaps two of the most, or perhaps the most even matchup that we've seen in the Goats tournament so far. For our last map, we'll be heading into our control point, Lijiang Tower. And as you guys cast your predictions in the chat, rack up those channel points. I have to ask you, Laurel, who's gonna win this?
I'm not putting my money on it. I'm not putting my Dogecoin on it. I'm not putting my caster curse on it. I'm just saying somebody tonight is walking away with the win for Prospect eSports Showdown Goats 2. I just don't know which one it is.
I have been singing Decrew's praises this evening, and Ultra has not Ultra's not my biggest yeah, Ultra's not my biggest fan here because of the criticisms I levied against them. I think I'm a little harder on Press Q since you're not playing in the ranks this evening. I think that I want Decrew to win just because Press Q didn't put you in the lineup, Laura, and that just makes me favor Decrew here going into this last map. We've seen great adaptations from them, great responses to the aggression from the main tank, the tip of the spear in Loba. But on the other side of the coin here, of the Dogecoin, if you will, it's we've seen some really good consistency from Let's All Press Q, particularly from their support line as well. I look at Ultra, at Yuta and Skittles, and I don't wonder where they are or what they're doing. I know that they're doing what they need to be doing in the context of the Goats composition. So for me, it's hard to say, but I think that if the crew keeps adapting like they've been doing this evening, I think they're going to win.
Yes, I believe what really gives the upper hand for one of these teams or the other is just a tiny misplay that the other team takes quick advantage of. You know, it's not really coming down to these huge plays that is really just being levied over one team or the other. Now, sometimes, yeah, rarely, but for the most part, it's just one tank is being too aggressive or one support, just gets cut out early. It's nothing fancier than that, really, but Lijiang is one of those beautiful maps that, well, for one, you can't tie on, but two, it really brings out the worst and the best of teams. Now we see both teams rotating to white, which is interesting for a Goats brawl.
The one to take more advantage over the white room is going to be Decrew finding the first blood in Loba. Yuta falls quickly afterwards. Look at the rotation here from Mac. They just rotated right to the objective. The team needed your projected barriers there. And now they will get out with energy, it looks like, or they might actually collapse to the damage from Kitty Cat Paw and Noah's Ark. Froggy sacrifices themselves to the pit, perhaps for Aaron Keller's favor in this last map.
It could have been for the fish food too. Oh no, Froggy! I saw you right as you did that. I've done that so many times. I don't even want to make fun of that, but Loba falls down early, and does look like Minnie is quickly demeched right after.
This is already a team fight win here for Decrew. I was looking at that happen. Froggy, if you mess up this rollout again, I will flame you. And they do reconnect with the rest of the team. That was a fantastic stabilization off of a man disadvantage. And we talked about this on the broadcast before, but it's possible to win a man disadvantage. And Choi Hyobin showed us exactly how. Exactly.
Now, Press Q was trying to do that benefit where, like, oh yeah, they're down a Lucio, let's speed on to them faster. It just did not work down. Now they did rotate white, and we see a grab coming out super early. Shatter followed behind.
Yeah, Lobo went for the Shatter to disrupt the follow-up onto the grab. It doesn't find anything. Kitty Cat pops the Transcendence to make sure no one dies, and the bomb from Minifridge is lobbed into the back lines here. Ooh! It ends up finding 4 picks here. I'm sorry, 3, I think, actually, for Press Q, and they'll probably be able to start building control of this objective now. Yep,
yes,
there we go.
Kitty Kitty Cat being the last to fall. The way you broadcast that made me be like, it's not one is the loneliest number, but that old country song where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can't think of it now. But we do see the aggression coming out of Press Q. They were holding on bridge, trying to get some environmental kills. If you were stupid enough to go that way, but they are going to white.
And the fight here is going to start with some early damage onto. Oh, look at that! Nozark lobs the. I'm sorry, eats the Graviton Surge that was thrown into the mid lines. It honestly looked like Minifridge was setting up to eat something, and just. Well, didn't end up needing to. That was a really decisive fight here for Press Q.
Yeah, that was a very fast fight. 70% to 40% in the favor still of Decrew. They just need to have one decisive team fight to really make it in their favor. Minifridge pushed forward, and ultimately Decrew is going white again. They don't want to stress any of the environmental kills off of Bridge. Ooh, the fire strike!
The triple fire strike from Loba, and the follow-up is there. Now equalized. The point has reached its 70% progress, and honestly, just push white, or just push Bridge, just push Bridge. You've got some ultimates in the bank. You can do those. Who needs Ant Matrix? Ultra asks in the chat. That was fantastic.
Oh, Ultra no. Taking down Kitty Cat early. Is going to stop the rotation before it even starts. We see the Shatter coming out, but counter Shatter taking all.
4 stunned off of that. The Transcendence has to be used here from Ultra, but we've got 10 seconds here to touch for Decrew. Nozark needs to do something. Projected barrier onto them is going to help to mitigate some of that damage. Choi Hyobin ends up succumbing to that. The Graviton Surge comes out, and it is going to trap Mac and Minifridge on one side. Mac ends up falling to the damage, and they aren't able to touch in time. That's so unfortunate here for Decrew, who were looking favored in that last fight, at least, albeit even for a brief moment. But our first round is going to go to Press Q.
Yes, now we did see Froggy trying to make that rotation through Pond to get there as quick as possible, but Skittles whiplashed them back, and fortunately for Froggy, they weren't whipped into the water, but it did ruin it where Dequelis tried to touch, but it was a short, shy moment. The joke being that you can't TP in goats, but it would be amazing if Sim was still considered a support, even in her kit currently. Could you imagine turrets and goats?
Oh goodness, that sounds absolutely brutal. Although the sustain might be enough to cut through some of that damage. And speaking of damage, nothing really happening too much besides Lobo losing their life, actually losing their armor, and then promptly falling off the courtyard as well. Dakota ends up collapsing as well, and it looks like it could go either way as Choi Hyobin is killed by Ultra. Froggy finds Mac though, and a demacked Noah's Ark is looking to demack Minifridge. Discord on Ultra is going to apply that damage to Kitty, taking the 1v1 and losing that to the melee finish from Yuta.
Yes, now I have learned just because your Ryan dies first does not mean you're ultimately going to lose that goat's fight. Just case in point, Loba dies, and ultimately the point does go in favor of Let's All Press Q. Now, it looks like they're going to be rotating. Oh, they changed their mind. They are going to be rotating main. We see Loba waiting, though. I see a back shatter, maybe, potentially.
Might not even be necessary here as Choi Hyobin ends up getting killed. Ricky promptly afterwards, both final blows from Minifridge there. Loba's going to go on the aggressive. Once again, this Press Q squad looking to take as much space as they absolutely can. With 32% in building, they've got a little bit of leeway to play as aggressively as they want. Make sure Ultra gets back. Okay, that was a little harrowing there for a sec.
Well, dicey, yes. Now we do see some of these swaps coming out, and I'd love to see Kitty Cat back on this Ana. I think is really going to help them, though. This bomb shatter combination. Ooh.
Oh no, the Transcendence was there from Ultra, and the counter shatter from Loba ends up getting Kitty Cat without the support. Choi Hyobin ends up getting killed, and Dequilis will collapse as well. Ricky's the last pick of that fight, falling victim to that targeted fire strike, and we're approaching last team fight territory. They've got to win the fights. They've got some ults. Decrew, come on, show me what you've got.
Yes, now we do have the ult economy definitely in the favor for Decrew. They have that nano, they have that Grav Rally, bomb potentially as well. Rally coming out early though by Q.
There's the Grav, it traps Loba. Anti-Nade is going to deny resources, but the beat is there from Yuta in response. Rally coming out from Ricky is going to help to mitigate some of that follow-up onto the Shatter, but the Graviton Surge is going to be able to help against that. Froggy Bear only 79% to ult, and there's the Shatter and the Anti-Nade as well, but it doesn't look like it's going to end up working out for Decrew. 95%, there's only 3 of them left, 2 of them supports. Choi Hyobin goes down to the boop, and there's no opportunity here. Let's All Press Q are the victors of this series. After a long 5 games, they decisively take the last 2 rounds of our last map. And we're calling GG's in the chat as Loba, at the tip of the spear, gets play the game with that triple fire strike. I'm calling it now.
Yes. Now, I do believe this isn't that shatter and then that fire
Oh,
strike.
no.
Maybe? No?
No, it wasn't. Who needs an amplification matrix?
Oh, the
Okay.
Vomitron. 90% kill participation by Skittle, 60% participation by Yuta. You know, those were names that we did not mention that much tonight, but without them being there, there would have been no sustainability. That was 90% kill participation. Oh my god.
After cards like that, you're possibly calling support diff in the in the match chat. But even beyond that, you're really beginning to understand the importance of the supports, where they fit into the context of this goat of the goats composition, and even despite the fantastic adaptations that we saw from the crew, I think that press queue are their support players. I think that they showed us that especially towards the end there, they really understand how those supports are supposed to be played.
Yes. Now, press Q. Let's go ahead and think about our MVPs. We only have 4 in the lobby right now, and conveniently, that's the only names that I can remember. We do need to get them in for interviews. Um, let's think of our top 4 MVP for press Q so we can get that poll out.
I mean, Mini Fridge put in so much work this evening, being there for the damage, in response to the damage. We saw fantastic bombs from Mini Fridge, one that actually got us a play of the game as well. Of course, you're looking at the support gameplay. You're looking at Yuta. You're looking at Ultra, and as well. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at all of these names on my recent players. Skittles. I'm so sorry, Skittles. Please don't come at me. I want to look at Loba as well. Loba, once again, just really being the damage dealer. Ryan is not a main tank, LH Cloudy proclaims, in the context of 222, but especially in the context of GOATs. But I have to wonder how many instances of Loba's over-aggression ended up punishing the Let's All Press Q squad that ended up needing to be compensated by our star support players this evening in Ultra, Yuta, and Skittles. Mini
Yes.
Fridge is an easy contender for me for MVP for Let's
Yes.
All Press Q.
I would say Ultra needs to be on the MVP as well because they are the quintessential team captain, but they were playing tank yesterday and they were playing support tonight to just show the versatility that they have as a player. But I agree wholeheartedly with your other decisions. The rest of the determination can be done by you, audience, once our producer gets that poll up there. Let's go ahead and start thinking of the MVP for the crew, which I think I kind of have a suspicion of who you're gonna say, but I'd love to hear it.
I'm gonna say Choi Hyobin. I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
Choi, and I'm gonna say Kitty Cat or Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark really also being influential in the Devo role there. We saw some fantastic bombs from them as well. Kitty Cat taking the duels, finding some of those early picks, punishing the over aggression the rare instance of over aggression that we saw from Yuta on the Brigida, particularly on our Havana match. But man, I mean, I'm a sucker for good Reinhardt gameplay in Goats Comp, and Choi Hyobin just really brought it home with the Reinhardt gameplay. I almost wonder if my man's out here learned all he knows from Bumper of the former Vancouver Titans.
Yes. I totally saw the Choyobin as a choice because Ryan's gotta love Ryan's, but I'm so happy to hear Kitty Cat Paul is one of your choices. I agree with your top 4 there. The audience, of course, can decide. Now, the more fun part, the MSP. Now, you kind of tickled that out as Loba because sometimes his aggression was the team's downfall. I kind of agree with that statement, but again, this is the worst of the best. So is that really an insult? I like to still say yes.
Yeah. You turned it around on me. I did not. I thought you were gonna say no, and I was gonna be like, oh yeah, absolutely,
Of
do a
course,
whole
because
little spiel there.
everyone thinks I'm a lovey love. Yeah, so I think Loba should be there for MSP for Let's All Press Q. You know, funny, if Nikki was here, he'd probably add me because I was so bad I didn't even play tonight. But everyone did a really great job tonight. I'm struggling to really pinpoint people who like penalized the team very much besides Loba's over aggression at times. And that's a stretch too.
Yeah, another one that I almost think that I kind of think of for MSP is Mac, who is mostly on the Zarya. I think actually only on the Zarya this evening. There were a couple instances where on Havana attack for Let's All Press Q in particular, I was looking at them kind of weave their way into the backlines of Decrew and really not finding the value that they wanted to out of that Zarya, that high energy Zarya, all the damage being mitigated by the support. So there were a couple instances where I kind of wonder what Max positioning was. I called that out on Lijiang Tower as well when the first fight in White Room of Lijiang Gardens. They ended up on the point while the rest of all, Let's All Press Q dies in the White Room. Uh,
Hmm.
so there are instances where I'm kind of questioning what Mac was looking to do, but at the same time, Zarya is one of those heroes in this comp that you're pulling a lot of strings behind the curtains, and there were some really good instances of Mac doing that for the Let's All Press Q squad as well. Whether it was compensating for the over aggression from Loba, providing the particle barriers to block the damage from Noah's Ark's bombs, or even pumping out the damage, as Zarya is that big damage dealer in the Goats comp.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can go, and ultimately, you being the expert on goats, I feel like whatever you said, bees can just type concisely into the poll. Or we could go the fun way is, we have the top three for MVP. Maybe the other three not mentioned just automatically becomes the MSP votes. That's, you
Yeah,
know, question mark. If
and
we
that
remember those names.
yeah, that would end up being Mac, Loba, and Skittles. Skittles had some time to shine as well, but it was really Yuta that, as far as the supports went, Yuta and Ultra that really that were really the stars of the support line for the Goats comp for Let's All Press Q. Yuta with the double kill environmental eliminations on their attack on Hanamura, and then also the consistency on the Brig is something that I just have mad respect for as someone who struggles to find that same level of consistency on Brigitte myself. So yeah, that would have to be Loba, Mac, or Skittles, who was also really consistent. I really don't want to put Skittles out there as
Yeah,
MSP. I think
the
Skittles did
fun thing
great.
is Skittles won MVP yesterday. So,
Oh, let's give
oh,
him MSP.
how the mighty have fallen. Now we do have some results coming in. We have MVP for Decrew being Kitty Paul, and for some reason the poll loves to not show me the results once I accidentally click off of them. But Yoda got MVP for Let's Press Q, so let's go grab them. Ethan, I know you can talk to yourself for a little while, so just do that for just a little bit while we get MSP coming through.
What a spectacular matchup that we got to see today. I'm really pleasantly surprised that it wasn't as much of a roll as some of the other matchups that we've seen so far. For those of you who are still watching, who have stuck around for the length of this series, a huge shout out to all of our viewers, all of our audience who have who sent us their love. Uh, Goats Comp is so much fun to cast and analyze. Maybe a little less fun to watch at times, but it's a nice little throwback. Laura called this our little time machine, reflecting on the Goats comp and not only the things that made it so much fun to play, so intricate in its design, but also the interesting ways that it's adapted as well. We got to see some really cool moments, some really cool flex swaps as well. Noah's Ark briefly taking up the Sigma there to achieve victory with a Gravitic Flux Graviton Surge combo on Hanamura, and and actually now we have Ultra in the booth. Ultra, welcome. How are you doing after that long series?
Hey, thanks. I'm all right. I'm a little brain fried after that. It was a little stressful because I didn't know for 2 whole maps what was going on for like a solid minute. It's been storming pretty bad, so I was rubber banding for on a lot of Havana, and a lot of what was the other one? Blizzard World.
Yeah, we even had that brief disconnect on Havana. It's one of those nights where you're just sitting at your computer, kind of lamenting to yourself, like this game is barely playable.
A
But
little bit.
you play such a crucial role in the context of your team composition and in the context of your team's goats comp. So fill us in a little bit. What exactly are you responsible for when you group up with Let's All Press Q?
So typically, the role that I am filling is I direct us, sort of what we're doing.
Mhm.
I'm not the best at the before the fight, but in the fight, I'm really good at calling out what abilities are like when bubbles drop, when shields are low, who's out of line, who's discorded. I kind of do the same thing on tank, but I'm less concerned about who's discorded because I'd rather just swing out the Rhine.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you do play tank, you're playing Reinhardt, is that right?
I'm usually on the Rhine or the Diva. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my usual spot.
Gotcha. So you're the one following up on some of those calls, but especially you demonstrated some really good decision making on the support this evening. So your role is just kind of helping to delegate kind of what we're committing to some of these fights, as well as keeping your team appraised to what kinds of resources are expended on the side of the enemy team. And speaking of the enemy team, Decrew, they really put up a really good fight tonight. Is there anything that you would want to say to them?
So I actually would like to say that it wasn't a Zarya diff. It was just kind of a overall. I think that they were scary. Not gonna lie. That
Yeah.
first few rounds we were a little lost. Nepal we were like, yeah, we can do this.
Hmm.
Second map on Hanamura, we were kind of like, well, we can goof off, and then they showed us very quickly that we are not allowed to goof off. So even
Yeah.
if we wanted to goob around, they reminded us that they'll still kick our butts.
A little taste of not necessarily humility, but just a little bit of a reality check, saying, okay, the things in Overwatch, they definitely aren't always as straightforward as they may seem, and you know this, playing as much Overwatch as you likely do. It's these games, they can turn on a dime.
It
So
was
yeah.
the gentle reminder, a swift kick in the back of the teeth.
Okay, that doesn't sound very gentle to me, but I I see where you're going. So you guys played really well tonight, and so that leads my next question to be, how much do you guys practice this composition, or do you guys just kind of pick it up and wing it?
So a lot of us know each other from the Prospect Summer Camp, our previous Prospect teams. As a group, we have not scrimmed goats. We've scrimmed
Hmm.
for like 2-2-2 for other stuff, but we have not scrimmed goats in about a month. Um,
Yeah.
we've kind of just been rolling with whoever is available. We have a pretty decent roster pool, and so we're all scrimming, but we're just not scrimming goats.
Yeah, yeah. But that synergy ends up coming in really handy in the Goats comp, right? It matters a little bit, but not so much when you are so comfortable with each other and each other's play styles that you can make those adaptations on the fly. So, a big shout out to Let's All Press Q tonight for their performance, for their hard-earned, hard-fought victory. Big shout out to you, Ultra, for taking my criticisms of your Ana that I levied against you in those early rounds, and for your shot calling, and yeah, just really well played tonight.
Thank you very kindly.
All right, well, we're going to do things a little out of order tonight. Instead of doing the MVP of Decrew next, we're going to go ahead and do the MSP of Let's Press Q. Completely legit, not stuffed ballots at all. Not because everyone was left and Skittles was the only one left. But yeah, Skittles, welcome. How the mighty have fallen in less
Oh
than
no.
24 hours. Really? Oh.
Oh. Oh no. Didn't get to play any tank today. No diva bombs to boost me up.
Oh, is that it? Is the diva that really just propels you into the spotlight?
I guess. I guess.
Now, that being said, you definitely did have an instrumental part of the team winning. Of course, like I said, at one point you had 90% kill participation, and you prevented Froggy from being able to contest Li Jing at the last second with that whiplash. So you kind of know what you're doing by Brig. You're really here by default.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right.
You played. You kind of swapped around a little bit with Yuta a lot this evening on the Brig and the Lucio in particular. Is there any one of these heroes that you prefer to play over the other?
Um, Not really. It was more that just that Yuta preferred playing Lucio on the Koth maps and Brig on the all the other ones. So we just kind
Okay.
of swapped off. That was just kind of happened in the match.
Gotcha, gotcha. And this isn't the first time I reflect on the series between Backseat Gaming and CC Vortex that we broadcasted last Tuesday, where we had another Lucio player as MSP. And so at least when you are on Lucio, what kinds of things are you responsible for?
Um, a lot of just like making sure I can hold my amp speed to make sure my Reinhardt can get away when he gets low and to boost him in.
Pretty important when Loba fed as much as he did this evening, huh?
Yeah, sometimes I amp him to go away and there's not much S pressing going on.
Yeah, yeah, and that's and that's also really important, especially when you're coming up against a nano Reinhardt, and we know this playing 222 roll queue, especially since Ana is as powerful as she is, and a nano Rein is absolutely terrifying to go up against. It's a really important tool to be able to amp speed away from a nano Rein and just deny the value that he can do as far as sheer damage goes. A little unfortunate, in my opinion, Skittles, that you ended up being MSP tonight just by default. I wanted to get Loba in here and pick their brain a little bit on the aggression, but maybe you can clue me in. Loba's the one I imagine just pressing shift and then saying follow me instead of being having the green light to go. Plays a little bit like Bumper, is that right?
I mean, he pretty much always says what he's going to do.
Hmm.
There's not so much just feeding going on, but
Yeah.
he says what he's going to do, and we can try and like support him the best we can, but can't always get that all the way in and keep him alive the whole time. But no,
Which
not
is definitely a dangerous kind of balance of your tank says what he's going to do, but then you have to move fast enough to follow up.
yeah.
And that decisiveness ends up it's critically important with the game of the state that it is, even more so in the context of the goats composition, which you guys ran really really well tonight. I am very excited to see how far you guys can go with this composition. Definitely going into your future matches. I'll be looking. I'll be looking very eagerly to see how well you guys do. I'm looking at the schedule and what who is the next team that you guys get to play?
Let's
I think it's the bench, right?
um I don't know. I have to open up the schedule also.
It should be the bench. Week 3, game 1. Let's all press Q against the bench. But now you guys have secured your 2-1 position. That actually puts you at our number 3 seed, depending on how the Pichamari's next games go. So do you have anything any warnings to the bench?
I don't know, probably just expect the same level of aggression. I mean, if we are able to have our same Reinhardt in, then it's definitely still gonna be some pretty wacky stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Some fast-paced gameplay.
Yes, now Skittles, we are going to go ahead and move to Kitty. Please enjoy your time because 2 matches a week is brutal, especially back to back. But thankfully, we haven't had any scrims for Let's All Press Q. But let's go ahead and get that MVP kitty cat paw from from the crew. We're going to be moving them up here. For some reason, it's almost like trying to herd a cat. They keep coming, they keep going, they keep coming, they keep going. But they are here to stay now.
Welcome to the booth, Kitty Cat. Really nice, really fun game to watch this evening. How are you feeling after that lengthy series?
I'm I mean, it's a bit disappointed because we lost, but I'm actually happy because it was actually the closest game we had in all of our games so far, and
Gotcha.
it can actually show us what we can improve on instead of just us rolling or getting rolled.
Yeah, absolutely. You go back to reflect on some of those games. You check out the VODs and you just look at you rolling and you're like, well, there's nothing that I learn here besides that they never stood a chance against my team. Or you watch yourself being rolled and you're like, there's nothing to learn here except that I guess I am bad at video games,
Yeah.
right? So definitely, there's going to be a lot of reflection going into the games this evening. I'm sure that there's a lot to learn. What are one of those lessons that you think the team has learned that will help you guys prepare for your next game?
It really need to focus on our target calls. Like we call the targets, but we don't always focus them as a team. So they live too long, and we give them the opportunity to kill us back.
Yeah, and this was something that I had said in the Hanamura match, which you guys just played absolutely spectacularly in. Definitely didn't look like you guys were suffering for that target prioritization. And what I had said was to rally ourselves under the banner of the same win condition, right? So aligning yourselves under that win condition, making sure everyone has the same route or the same means to accomplish a victory, I guess, is one way that you guys can improve as a team.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's really how do I say this? It's really easy to win when everyone's on the same page. Like if everyone goes this if you have someone just going their own way, especially in goats, it's just a death sentence. You won't be able to win the game if you're not all on the same page.
Yeah, and we saw that punish both of the teams in a couple
Yep.
of instances tonight. You guys were able to take advantage of a couple of misplays like that from Let's All Press Q, and they did the same to you guys. Ultimately, just kind of ruining your chances at the series in both of the control point maps. Any idea why those end up being some of the weaker maps for you guys? Why that ended up being a weaker mode?
Um, I think is that it's because the control point is there isn't like a staging phase. It's just every, every team, both teams at the same time, go to the point, and there's no preparation you need to go. So it's not okay. We stand here, and then if they go here, we do this. Like on Lizard World, we stood on high ground. We said if they go left side, we rush them. If they go under right side, we go to the rocks. But we can't really do that on control because we don't even know what like we have to set up do have our pathing ourselves to get to the point itself.
Yeah, it's control point ends up playing out like a glorified death match, actually.
Yeah.
So I totally understand where you're coming from. It's actually one of my personal weaker modes as well, despite the fact that I'm a Zenyatta main. Like that should be a mode in which I thrive. Speaking of Zenyatta, I mean your Zenyatta gameplay tonight, your Ana gameplay as well, were spectacular. An absolute treat for me as a support main to watch and really my last question to you, well, it's not really a question, it's really just it's a humble request. Your next match is I believe it's going to be against CC Vortex, who is currently our #1 seed. What I really want, I want to see you guys, I want to see the crew take at least one map, if not the series. I definitely want to see you guys take a map from CC Vortex, so that we can continue to praise the way that you guys adapt and rally under that win condition even more than I did tonight.
Yeah, our goal to is obviously to win because that's the point of competition.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just to have fun because we're not actually a real team. We're a group of friends that said, "Oh, it'd be fun to just play goats." And
Okay.
yeah, it's basically just me in our group chat like, "Hey guys, want to play goats?" And they all go, "Oh yeah," and we formed a team. But
It's
CC
you and the
Vortex,
crew.
yeah, it's the crew. We're just a group of friends. Started from just picking up people in rank, and actually, it's Froggy Bear. He's my dad, and so he picked up some friends from ranked, and I started playing with them. So I started playing with everyone, and we just made a Discord and started bringing people over and just having fun. And one of the players just DM'd me saying that he wanted me to talk about him being drunk for the match. So he was very energetic, and
Yeah,
but it's funny. It's
it'll definitely help in the confidence department for sure.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the questions that I have, unless you've got anything, Laura.
No, I don't. I know I go way back with the crew. Multiple players on here have a soft spot in my heart. And so it was
Yep.
really great to be able to see you guys versus my team. And thankfully, from the view of the casters booth, at first I was like, yeah, it would have been fun to go against you. But I think in the long scheme, I'm kind of glad I was in the casters booth instead to be able to get that bird's eye view. But congratulations again on
Yep.
MVP for the crew. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do next in GOATS. It's going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty, well, that brings us down to our end of our week 2 for GOATS and Pro, or I did it again, for Prospect eSports Showdown Season 2 of GOATS. Please, guys, make sure you follow back next week for our week 3. If you're not in the Discord server, get in here now so that you can see our standings, so you can see our map pools, because that's where we release everything starting Sunday night at midnight Pacific. We will be back next week. Our announcements will let you know when exactly. I'm Lord the Ethan. Tell people where they can find you.
You guys can find me over at twitch.tv/ubuffalo esports. We'll be heading back into tournament season here in a little while. So for now, you guys can see me. You guys can just catch more of me here at Prospect eSports Showdown. But definitely head over to University at Buffalo. It's ubuffalo esports over on twitch.tv. And you guys will be able to see me very soon.
Alrighty, well, don't go anywhere for the next week. I want you to be sat in your couch/computer chair. I want you to just be mummified, and we'll see you soon.